people, this is Katie coming to you from the beautiful Project Me and Every Day is Saturday PH360 house here in Mexico. We had another gorgeous day today with some gorgeous people, and I wanted to hop on here today to talk to you a little bit about guardians and the guardian health type. Now, if you don't know what your health type is, you can go to healthtypetest.org and just answer a couple of really simple questions, and it will give you a fantastic report with so many health insights on what is best for your body. Because here at the Everyday is Saturday and Project Me House, it's all about everyone being unique. And so I am very unique here in the PH360 house because I am the token guardian, the only guardian that is here representing Team Guardian. Whoop, whoop. And it is really cool and interesting to see all of the different biotrends and see how we're all interacting with one another. But before I get into that, a little bit more about guardians and who we are and what we're all about. So guardians. In ancient times, guardians would have been the nomads, the nomadic tribes. Now, if you saw Erin's video the other day about diplomats, she explained it as diplomats being the Vikings. And so to carry on through those references, guardians would have been nomads. So roaming the earth, really connected in with nature cycles, understanding where to go foraging for, nuts and berries and roots, vegetables, and even some fish out in the sea, very much in tune with the earth cycles and where the different animal herds were and where they would have to go collect the food and really to sustain themselves and their own little nomadic societies. And so the guardian body type is very resilient. If there is one word to encapsulate what this body is all about, that would be resiliency. See, in the nomadic tribes, the nomads could go and forage for a really, really long time and go on their journeys to get what they need to then bring back to the band or the tribe, and for then everyone to sit down and have a feast and just gorge themselves on all of the delicious bounty that nature had provided them. So the body can go for a really long amount of time without too much sustenance, water and hydrating and all that's very good. And so that is why when it comes to detoxing the guardian body type, the personalized detox is really clear, warm, clear liquids like broths, which has a lot of nutrients, but not a lot of fiber or sustenance in the broths that the body has to process, but a lot of warm liquids like teas as well, and the clear blast to help really flush out the system. Because traditionally, the guardian body could go for a really long time without a lot of food, and it was resilient enough and sturdy enough to be able to withstand the lack of sustenance as long as it had the hydration that it needed. And so that's where the inspiration for the detox comes from, is this very resilient body. Now, resiliency means that we are typically the curvier girls and the sturdier men, and that we have very thick bones, very thick muscle fibers, and very thick fat tissue over top of us. So that gives us a lot of great curves and a very sturdy demeanor and physicality to our bodies. So the strengths when it comes to the personalities of the guardian are plenty. And I would say when it comes to living in this contribution society that we're building here at the Project Me house, and understanding that we're all unique and how we contribute in our own special and unique way, that one of the strengths that I never actually really considered a strength for me before, and love my guardians. Thank you, Erin. Love you too. Mwah, love the diplomats. One of the strengths that I never considered was a strength per se, and didn't really contextualize it that way, but I keep getting complimented on it, and people keep bringing it up, that I feel like I need to start really owning that. And that is that the guardians have such a sense of groundedness about them, that there's just this sense of stability and predictability and capability, that when there's a guardian around, everything just feels like it's okay in the world, that there's just this solid effect that a guardian has when it's around. And people say that to me quite frequently, that, you know, when I'm around, they just love being around me. I don't even have to be doing anything or interacting with them per se. Just my general presence in the space just adds the sense of groundedness to it. And that there's people just feel very safe and secure when they're in my presence. And so for me, it's actually been really eye-opening to start thinking about that as a strength for me, because when I think about a contribution society and how I'm contributing, I feel like it's this being, there's this action that, you know, I need to be engaging and doing something. However, contributing is just actually me being in the space to really ground that space for everyone who's operating within that space. And so that can be quite powerful, is just what I'm contributing to the group is just being in the group and just being who I am in this space. And so that's been really empowering for me to not just take that for granted as something as just I am, that I do, and not thinking of that as a skill or thinking of that as something that I can gift to other people, that it's just, you know, who I am and what I'm really all about. And so that's been really cool that people keep commenting on that, just who I am and just being in the space is actually contributing. So thank you guys. I love you too. Julie, thank you. I'm her favorite guardian. That makes me feel good. So in talking about that, actually, another strength of the guardian health type is their nurturing vibe, and nurturing and empathy comes very naturally to this health type, just because of the hormones that are abundant and released inside the guardian health type body. We're very sensitive to the hormone prolactin, and that is the nurturing hormone. So that is the hormone that is released when, say, a mother is breastfeeding her baby, and that sense of connectedness, that's the hormone is prolactin that is released. And so guardians are very sensitive to that hormone, and we have that general overall sense of wanting to nurture everyone in our surroundings. And so family is very important to guardians, and something that I've learned for my own health when I'm not necessarily physically in the geographic proximity of my biological or genetic family, that my family really is whoever I am with at that time. So it's, you know, right now at the Project Me house, it's really cool because my family is everybody here. Everybody that's in close proximity here is my family, and I love being here for them and just being me and contributing and helping them however I can. That makes me feel really good. So I don't necessarily have to be, you know, around my mom or my dad or my sister, as much as I love to be around them, and we have so much fun when we are together. That it's not thinking about family, that definition isn't defined to my genetic or biological family, that it really is, the family is whoever I am with at that time, and it makes me feel good to make those connections and really nurture people. And another strength of the guardian health type is that we are very empathic. And empathic means that we are very in tune with other individuals. Again, because of the hormone prolactin in our system, we are very observant, and we are very open to receiving emotional information from others, and we can respond accordingly. And previously, before pH 360, PH360, I used to define my empathy as a weakness, as that I was told in other interactions with individuals that my sensitivity was a weakness, that I was, I'm too sensitive and you're taking things too personal, and that I was too emotional if I'd start crying when someone else was crying. And I really used to bottle up all my emotions inside because I thought, oh, that's a weakness. I don't want to be perceived as being weak. But what PH360 and Shay has really helped me do is completely switch my definition of empathy away from being a weakness to actually one of my superpowers. That I am such a powerful, emotionally intelligent individual that I pick up on a lot of emotional cues and a lot of visual cues and even language cues that other people just don't pick up on. And that can be very empowering. That can be very advantageous in certain situations. And so it's been such an eye opener for me to learn more about my body type, about my health type, and about how my brain and my body and physiologically actually works, to start reframing some perceived negatives or weaknesses in my personality into superpowers and super strengths, and understanding that those are actually very powerful in certain contexts. Like, I am more powerful and more in tuned in some ways than other health types. So that for me has been really enlightening, and I'm going to be forever grateful to PH360 for helping me shift my mindset around that. And so that is something else that I bring and I contribute to this Flow Society and the Project Me group that we have here, is just being comfortable with myself and really embracing who I am just gives everyone else around us to have permission to be who they are. And when we all just embrace who we are and start interacting with each other at this very egalitarian type of, okay, this is your role and this can be your role and this is your role and you're happy to contribute this, that all the puzzle pieces kind of fit together and there's no gaps. Like, you would think if we're all slotted into these different areas that there might be, too many people who like strategy and systems, and there might not be enough people who are really into the emotional side of things and wanting to connect with others. But it's been such a beautiful experience to see how we all have our own strengths and how that is how we actually contribute, is bringing those strengths. And it might not be the tangible definitions of, I'm really good at scheduling, so I can create a schedule for someone, which is something physical that we can grasp onto, that we're actually contributing. But it can also be just a sense of being and just a sense of groundedness to hold that space for people to feel comfortable enough to be themselves. And that can truly be like such a solid foundation to provide for work teams and interpersonal dynamics, and even at home and in the family, just to have that solid grounding to really build up those interpersonal dynamics from. So I'm so grateful that I have learned all of this information from PH360 about who I am, what I'm all about, and what my own sensitivities and what my strengths and geniuses are, because it just gives me the power that I need to step into those areas of genius and really start redefining what genius is and what work is, what life is, who I am, right? Really embracing who I am in its entirety. So that's a little bit of Guardians in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if anyone has any questions about Guardians or the health type test, I'm more than happy to answer those. So please pop them in the comments. And if you know of anyone who potentially might be a Guardian, please share this out as much as possible. We want this information to get out there because we want to empower people and let people know that being unique is super cool, because we're all unique. And there is health advice that is tailored specifically to what you need. It is out there. So get in touch, guys. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.